Well, howdy, BookTube. Welcome back to the History Shelf. I am your host, Peg. Thanks for joining me today. Well, today I had to share the wealth. I had to spread the joy and spread the news before time runs out. I usually do these after the sale is over, and then you guys can't do anything with that information. So I wanted to tell you that one of my favorite bargain book outlets is having a sale right now. It's been on for like the last 2 weeks, and it goes through December 2nd. So we've got like a little over a week left, and that is Book Outlet. And their flash fiction sale is back on, but not just that. You can get any fiction for $5.99. Doesn't matter if it's paperback or hardcover. Excuse me, still a little hoarse. But also everything else, nonfiction, 20% off. But what I'm going to show you right now is my last Book Outlet shopping foray. And I can do this as long as I get rid of the same amount of number of books, which I've been doing. I've been cleaning out. I've got stacks of books I'm about to donate, and mailing off some to friends and whatnot. But sorry, that's how I justify this. And yeah, I think I'm going to have one more coming as well. So stay tuned for that one as well. Sorry, you know what it is? I'm over my cold. I'm going to blame it on Martine, but she was burning some sage or incense or something to just, we both have been sick and we're getting off of our sickness, and now we just want to like purge the house of every bad thing. But that has really tickled the back of my throat and has caused me to start wheezing and coughing. So we'll only do that once in a while. All right, so what I have here is mostly fiction, but there are a couple of nonfictions that were discounted heavily, so I did throw those in, excuse me, as well. Let's start with this. Let's not start with this one. I was a little, I didn't like the size of it, and I was like, no. Yes, so let's start with this one. I think in one of my last, maybe my Halloween horror TBR, I introduced you to this author, which I am still being introduced to, but at Book Outlet they had this one really marked out, and I wanted to get another book by him, and this is Ronald Malfi, and I picked up Bone White. It got a lot of great reviews, like reader reviews. They loved it. So it's a horror novel. A man's search for his missing brother triggers a blood-freezing odyssey into the Alaskan wilds, and a terrifying novel by an award-winning master of contemporary horror. So I'm going to kind of go quickly through these. I'm not going to read an in-depth description on all of them, just because, number one, my voice, and number two, I have an appointment, so I have to keep my video within a time limit here. Okay, so now this one is a series, and I don't know how long it's going to last. It might only be a 2-book series. But I love like Scandinavian noir and crime thrillers, and this is one I hadn't heard of yet. And I'm about to get the second book, which is coming, I think, in the next shipment. But this is the first book in the series. It's called We Know You Remember by Tove Alsterdal. And it's about a Norwegian police detective, a female police detective, says a missing girl, hidden body, a decades-long cover-up, and old sins cast in new light. And the second one is called, it has a title where it's like someone talking to you. What is the second one? Oh, I just ordered it. But We Know You Remember. So that's another one to get. And I love the cover. If you kind of go sideways, it's like trees. Very creepy. So that I picked up for $5.99. This next book is the first in the series, and I have some of the later ones in like advanced reader copies as part of my role as an editor at Historical Novels Review. So I wanted to go back and read the first one, and I also need to pick up the second one, but then I have the rest. This is by Mark Pryor, and this is like a World War II mystery series, and this one's called Die Around Sundown, a Henry Lefort mystery. And if you're a longtime watcher to this program, you know mysteries are a big sideline of mine, along with history. And if you're new to the channel, hey, I read more than just history. I love historical fiction, mysteries, thrillers, obviously some horror, some contemporary literature, but you know, it's mostly nonfiction. But when I do go fiction, I like to have some type of mystery or something historical going on. And this one I'll read a little bit more. This is from Minotaur Books. So it begins in the summer of 1940. In German-occupied Paris, Inspector Henry Lefort has been given just 5 days to solve the murder of a German major that took place in the Louvre Museum. Blocked from the crime scene, but given a list of suspects, Henry, or probably pronounced Henri, Henri encounters a group of artists, including Pablo Picasso, who know more than they're willing to share. With the clock ticking, Henri must uncover a web of lies while overcoming impossible odds to save his own life and prove his loyalty to his country. Will he rise to the task or become another tragic story of a tragic time? So, yeah, Mark Pryor. I've never read him before. I know that he had a series before this about a bookseller, and there was quite a few of these, almost 10. But I wanted to check out this one, and I've also purchased the second one, which is coming in my next shipment. So again, I'm just showing these to you now in case any of these are appealing to you and you want them at a rock bottom price, and for brand new. These are brand new. These are not used. So $5.99 right now. All right, and some of these are I'll save the nonfiction for last. Okay, so these look fun, and it's not Christmas time. And I wanted to show you these at Christmas time, but what I'll probably end up doing is I'll come back around Christmas time and tell you which one I'm reading. This is a set of 5 books. They don't sell as a set, but I got them individually from, what is the publisher on this? I think these come from the UK. Profile Books. It's a set of anthologies, but I don't even know which one comes first. But let's just dive in. We've got 10 classic crime stories, right? And this one is 10 classic tales for chilling nights. This is The Dead of Winter. You got some of the old school writers on here: Conan Doyle, M.R. James, Ruth Rendell. Very thin little volume, but I thought this would be so much fun in the winter. Hopefully we'll get some snow here. Just a collection of stories. And I just thought, what a neat little kind of way to get some mysteries in the wintertime. So the next one I picked up is Murder in the Falling Snow. And then we have Dorothy Sayers in there. More Conan Doyle. We've got Chesterton, a story in here. And then more. And as you can see, they have a whole series of books. And I got most of them. I got 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, and some of these are not even $5.99; they're like $4.99. So if you're interested. And then we've got Murder in Midwinter: 10 Classic Crime Stories for Christmas. This one's a little thicker. Again, with our highlights of who's writing in here. This one is about 270 pages, and I got that for $5. Isn't that great? We got Murder on Christmas Eve, classic mysteries for the festive season. Ellis Peters, Ian Rankin. We got some more contemporary authors in there. That's great. Another Chesterton story. Some of these I haven't heard of, so I'm intrigued. Maybe I'll be introduced to some new mystery writers that I like. This one's about 230 pages. And then the final one I picked up was Murder Under the Christmas Tree. So as you can see, they're all of a piece, and they don't repeat stories. So that's the good thing. At least that's that's what I am pretty sure of. So let me check here. Ian Rankin. Yeah, no, these do not repeat. Oh, we got Nao Marsh in here. These look great. The Name on the Window, The Necklace of Pearls. So just a way for me to sample some different mystery writers throughout time, over a period of time, and then they all have a nice kind of festive, wintry, Christmassy setting. So these were 5 I picked up while Book Outlet was having that sale. So if you are also interested in these, go to the site, just start typing in some of these names, and they'll pull them all up. All right, next book I picked up is one I've been meaning to check out. I've been meaning to check out this author who wrote Mexican Gothic. But this is not Mexican Gothic, but it still looks really interesting, and I want to check this out. I think this is definitely more of like a thriller horror book, and that is Silver Nitrate by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. And let me just tell you what this is about. Montserrat has always been overlooked. She's a talented sound editor, but she's left out of the boys' club running the film industry in 90s Mexico City. Then her best friend Tristan introduces her to his new neighbor, cult horror director Abel Ureta, who promises that he can change all of their lives if only they'll help him finish what he claims is a cursed film by a Nazi occultist. Disbelieving, but with nothing to lose, Montserrat and Tristan agree to help. However, as they work together to unravel the mystery of the film and its obscure creator, the pair might find out that sorcerers and magic are not only the stuff of movies. And a really interesting inside end paper here on the inside cover. Beyond the Yellow Door. It's like a movie poster. And it says, Sylvia Moreno Garcia and Del Rey present a Silver Nitrate production, Beyond the Yellow Door, starring Montserrat. That's the lead character, Curiel, Tristan Abascal. Interesting. Kind of, again, along the lines of a horror movie by Paul Tremblay. Kind of a notion. But I wanted to check it out, and the price was right. So picked that one up, too. All right, yep, we got some more. And then one of you a while ago in another video of mine recommended a military thriller, or I don't know if it's like spy, but more of a military thriller. And you said I should check out Jack Carr. And so I wanted to. So this was the best time for me to pick up his first book in the series, The Terminal List. Nice big size trade paperback for $5.99. So that's the first book in the series from Atria, Emily Bessler Books. And yeah, it's supposed to be really good. So I wanted to pick this up. It's about a Navy SEAL. On his last combat deployment as a Navy SEAL, Lieutenant Commander James Reese's entire team was killed in a catastrophic ambush that also claimed the lives of the aircrew sent in to rescue them. But when those dearest to him are murdered on the day of his homecoming, Reese discovers that this was not an act of war by a foreign enemy, but a conspiracy that runs to the highest levels of his own government. They have taken everything from him. Now it's his turn. So, yes. So, The Terminal List by Jack Carr. if I like that, I'll continue with the series. I do have a prequel I mean to show you. It's downstairs. I've got lots of fiction to show you guys. Then I picked this story up, this fiction novel up in hardcover. You know, I'm really glad I did. It's really beautiful. It sounds intriguing. I've never heard of this author, but I wanted to give it a go. This is The Witch and the Tsar by Olesya Salonikova-Gilmore. This is put out by some publisher named Ace, maybe Penguin Random House. In this stunning debut novel, the maligned and immortal witch of legend known as Baba Yaga. I remember Baba Yaga from an episode of Lost Girl, taking you back to the 90s. Okay, known as Baba Yaga, will risk all to save her country and her people from Tsar Ivan the Terrible and the dangerous gods who seek to drive the twisted hearts of men. That's obviously what drew it to me. Drew me to it because I'm a big love Russian history, Ivan the Terrible. I mean, so this whole, it just smacks of like historical fiction, but also maybe some creepy stuff going on. It's like set in the 16th century. Yeah, so I mean, The Witch and the Tsar, man, you can't, that is outstanding. $5.99 for a brand new hardcover. So very, very tickled by that one. And then I've read some good things about this one and this author, and I've never read her before. So just because it was the sale and it's a beautiful hardcover, I picked up Claire Massoud's The Strange Eventful History. This is put out by Fleet. What is this? Fleet Publishing. This might be a UK book. I'm not sure. And this one says June 1940. As Paris falls to the Germans, Gaston Cassar, honorable servant of France, devoted husband and father, currently posted as naval attaché in Salonika, bids farewell to his beloved wife, aunt, and children, placing his faith in God that they will be reunited after the war. But escaping the violence of that cataclysm is not the same as emerging unscathed. The family will never again be whole. A work of breathtaking historical sweep and vivid psychological intimacy, this strange eventful history charts the Cassars' unfolding story as its members move between Salonika and Algeria, the U.S., Cuba, Canada, Argentina, Australia, and France. Their journey shaped as much by a search for an elusive wholeness as by the imperatives of politics, faith, family, industry, and desire. So that kind of sounds like a really absorbing story, and I like things that kind of have a broad sweep to them and are set in the past. So, of course, if any of you have read any of these, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you thought. All right, so now I have some nonfiction. We'll see if I can get through these pretty quickly. And this one was marked down. I think it was like $4.99 on the discount aisle. This is Two Souls Indivisible by James S. Hirsch. A moving story of two men whose courage, sense of duty, and love proved greater than the depravity of their captors. Highly recommend it, said John McCain. This is a story about these two men who, it sounded miraculous. It sounded wonderful when I read the description, and I definitely want to just, explore this book. Recounts the forging of a legendary heroic bond between two soldiers. Fred Cherry and Porter Halliburton first met in their shared cell in a brutal POW camp in Vietnam. Cherry, an Air Force pilot, was badly injured after his plane crashed. He became the first black officer to be captured by the North Vietnamese. Halliburton, a young Navy flyer, was a naive white Southerner thrown in as Cherry's cellmate. Their captors hoped close quarters would inflame American-bred racial tensions and break both men. Instead, as Cherry was nursed back to health, a friendship grew strong. The intense connection, powerfully reported by James Hirsch, would sustain both men through the war and throughout their lives. So, I mean, definitely want to read this one. So tickled I found this book. I'm not sure when that one came out, but has it been out for a while? 2004. I'm just now hearing about it. And then I picked up this one this is also a UK book from Wiedenfeld and Nicholson. This is Writing in the Dark, Bloomsbury, The Blitz, and Horizon Magazine. Beautiful book. Let's see here. Cloistered in pubs and gloomy sitting rooms, London's young writers and artists faced being sent to the front. This is set in 1939. Trading their paintbrushes and pens for the weapons of war. In Writing in the Dark, Will Loxley conjures up this brooding world and tells the story of the defiant magazine Horizon, which sprang up against the odds. Interweaving the personal histories of influential young editors Cyril Connolly, Stephen Spender, and John Lehman with their friends and contemporaries Virginia Woolf, George Orwell, and Dylan Thomas, as well as many more names both familiar and not, Will Loxley brings us into these writers' homes and into the little offices at 6 Lansdowne Terrace. The book captures the literary life of the Second World War, fusing the exhausted melancholy in the aftermath of the Blitz with changes in the writers' own lives as they move from city to countryside, from youth to middle age. So being a big fan of the Bloomsbury Circle, Virginia Woolf, this is a book I needed to have for my collection, and also just for my just a big chance to kind of revisit. I've read so many things on Bloomsbury, and this is like a new angle that I have not heard about. I mean, I knew that they were working in the Horizon, as it was, included in different biographies of these different people. But just taking it as the sole purpose of this book, it sounds really great. And it was. I think this one was marked down as well. So, again, available now from Book Outlet if you're interested, guys. All right. Oh, and then this one. Because I want to learn some more about this writer. I haven't really read... I've read about him. I haven't read his works, but I always... To be introduced to a new writer, I always like to read a biography. And I like this biographer. I like this writer, A.N. Wilson. And this is Goethe. His Faustian Life. This is from Bloomsbury Publishing. This one was like $10, but it's really expensive anywhere else. So I wanted to get this one, and A.N. Wilson's Goethe is an illuminating journey into the psyche of the Enlightenment, exploring the Faustian genius of the poet who anticipated the modern age. A.N. Wilson traces the life and passions of Goethe with the characteristic insight and wit, his bourgeois upbringing in Frankfurt, the unconsummated loves that fueled his writing, his deep friendship with fellow writer Schiller, unorthodox pantheism, and abiding lifelong obsession with the legend of Faust. Through Wilson's captivating prose, Goethe emerges as a man of many contradictions, whose most important work, Faust, anticipated how Western civilization would come to view itself. So, I had to get this one for $10 at Book Outlet. Running out of time. I'm going to do this one now. Oh yeah, here's another one I've been meaning to get for a long time, and I just finally decided it's not going to get any cheaper, and I found it in brand new in hardcover, and this is Mussolini's Daughter, The Most Dangerous Woman in Europe, by Caroline Moorhead. This is put out by Harper. This came out 2022. This is a thrilling biography of Etta Mussolini Benito. Sorry. The M dash there threw me off. So her name is Etta Mussolini. So, a thrilling biography of Etta Mussolini. Benito Mussolini's favorite daughter, one of the most influential women in 1930s Europe, and a heart-stopping account of the unraveling of the fascist dream in Italy from award-winning historian and biographer Caroline Moorhead. I can't resist reading about a dictator or their family members. I don't know what it is. So I'm like, well, let's learn some more about her. Like, what was her deal? Was she as bad as he was? So, anyway, I'll keep I'll just leave you with that. You know, keep you intrigued. Let's see here. The next nonfiction I picked up, and I don't know why this always fascinates me, but maybe it's because I watched that series Narcos back in the day, and just the whole Pablo Escobar thing, it just really gripped me. So when I saw this book, I was like, well, okay. I can't resist. This is Son of Escobar, Firstborn, The Murders, the Hidden Millions, and M.I.'s Secret, The Real Truth About My Father, by Roberto Sandoya Escobar. This is definitely a UK book. It's weird. I just, it's written by him, and it's his take on his father, which, I'm always intrigued by how, like, along with Mussolini's daughter, like, how did children of horrible people view their parents, Let's see. Anyway, so I don't have time to go into this, but it sounds really interesting. So, Son of Escobar, Firstborn, check that out. This book I've already read like 20 years ago, but I don't know where my book is, and it was a book club edition. So it was like one of those rip-off cheap hardcover. And so I saw this in a brand new paperback edition published by Granta, a new magazine that I'm subscribing to, a new journal. I got my first one the other day, Badlands. And look at that. It's got William T. Volman as the lead essay on he goes to Ukraine. So I'm going to be reading this over my break. Anyway, yeah, Granta. It's just really interesting. They got poems, poetry, photography, essays, fiction, nonfiction. So a little bit of everything in here. Anyway, so this book was published by Granta, and I've never seen it in this size or this. It's so lightweight. It's Barbara Demick's classic book on North Korea. Nothing to Envy: Real Lives in North Korea. But look at this version, huh? The book, yeah, I had a bigger hardcover, but again, it was a cheap one, and and it has a new afterword by the author. So I know this one is the most up to date, and I really highly recommend anyone who wants to understand or get to know what North Korea is about or what it's like. You have to read Nothing to Envy by Barbara Demick, and I want to reread it. So I'm glad I found this copy. Nothing to Envy is a groundbreaking portrait of ordinary life in North Korea. Drawing on extensive interviews and investigative work, Barbara Demick unveils stories of resilience and defection in the face of untold surveillance and oppression in this extraordinary country. So, yeah, I was pretty pleased by that. And the next one I'll show real quick is I've always wanted a book on this civilization, and I can't seem to find anything in hardcover. But anyway, this is on Angkor, the Khmer Civilization, by Michael D. Coe and Damian Evans. This is put out by Thames and Hudson, a little paperback. So richly illustrated, but I've always been intrigued by that palace, the architecture. And this is one I really don't know anything about. I've seen it on documentaries, and I'm like, who made these? Who made this palace? I mean, it's just striking. Yeah, Angkor Wat. It's mind-blowing. So, I was happy to pick this one up. I'm sorry to rush, guys. I have an appointment, and I've got to wrap it up. Finally, I picked this one up because there's a sequel to this coming out, and I want to be prepared. The publisher has already contacted me about this author's follow-up to her smash international bestseller from, when did this come out? 1991? And I need to read it before the sequel comes out. And that is Jung Chang's Wild Swans, Three Daughters of China. I got this beautiful edition from Touchstone. This is all on Book Outlet, guys. As long as this isn't sold out, you can find it for relatively cheap, brand new. And this is the The real-life saga of a Chinese family over 3 generations. And let's see, blending the intimacy of memoir and the panoramic sweep of eyewitness history, Wild Swans has become a best-selling classic in more than 30 languages. The story of 3 generations in 20th century China, it is an engrossing record of Mao's impact on China, an unusual window on the female experience in the modern world, and an inspiring tale of courage and love. So again, Jung Chang has got a new follow-up to this coming out, I think early next year. I need to double check my my emails on that from the publicist, but I think it's called Fly Home Swans or something like that. I need to double check. But anyway, this is my research. I need to be prepared for the sequel. So that is, although I didn't show you this one. Okay. I didn't know it was going to show up like this. It is tiny. I had a beat up hardcover of Shirley Hazard's The Great Fire, and then I saw this on Book Outlet, and I didn't know it was going to be like a pocket edition. This is the Picador Modern Classics. This is not even like, this should be $2 and not $6, but I'm sorry, I can't read. I mean, I can, but does anyone want this? Let me know. It's not going to work. Anyway, all right, guys. So that's my recent book haul from Book Outlet. Like I said, I make room. I'm getting rid of books so I can make room for new ones. And so that's how this is going to work now. It's how it's going to work. All right, I'm off to get my hair cut, and I will see you guys later. Let me know what you thought of the books below. And remember, if you're wanting some cheap fiction right now, Book Outlet, $5.99 all fiction, 20% off all nonfiction. And I've already got a second order coming, so stay tuned for that. All right, guys, until next time, thanks for joining me here at the History Shelf, and we'll see you back here real soon. Bye.